ito ay rated SPG. Striktong patnubay at gabay ng magulang ang kailangan. Maaaring may masiselang tema, lengguwahe, karahasan, sexual, horror o droga na hindi angkop sa mga bata.
You gave me a shoulder when I needed it. You showed me love when I wasn't feeling it. You helped me fight when I was giving in. And you made me laugh when I was losing it. 'Cause you are the reason why I'm still.
So I know you've got an idea of what we're gonna discuss now. So let's get started. Our topic was all about political relations in the modern period, particularly in the 20th century. Our objectives are two. First, enumerate some of the technologies used by the developed countries in terms of colonialism. And second, enumerate the contributions of science and technology in the war in the 20th century, which is year started from 1901 to 2000. Because of the Industrial Revolution, military power became more powerful and international relations became global. That's why World War II became possible. In this lesson, you will learn about the uses of technology in the military, communications, transportation fields, and in science, particularly in physics. One of the main factors that made colonialism possible was the use of inventions or technologies. For example, the tank cannon, the gun, and the bomb are weapons used for war, and the ship for transportation and the telegraph for communication. Ironically, technology eventually played an important part in the political colonialism. The miniaturization and mobility of many modern weapons and weapon systems made it impossible to prevent their diffusion in the long run. Before anything else, all the things we have now have something to do with the past. The technologies that we are using now is just the transformation of yesterday's technologies. And this will be explained to our next reporter.
Morning, I am ZYRA GACO. So let's start. Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev's program of Glasnost and Perestroika clearly played a central role in the occurrence of revolutionary change in Eastern Europe in 1989. Technology was an important factor. Consider the following cases of East Germany and Romania. The potency of the West German techno-economic production system had long afforded West German material affluence and a much higher average standard of living than their East German counterparts. Gorbachev's activated by sudden availability of routes of the West, Hungary, and Poland. During his October 1989, he visited to East Germany on the occasion of the Communist government celebration of its 40th anniversary. In Romania, technology played a critical foreground as well as an important background role. In East Germany, by late 1989, foreign radio and television broadcasts accessible in Romania made the populace aware of changes taking place elsewhere in Eastern Europe. Both sides fought to gain and keep control of the state television network headquarters. The state television network was clearly a critical strategic tool. We know now that television is a form of recreation, an information source, a tool that leads us to experience many things, but it can also be a critical strategic tool against unpopulous regimes.
The study of the science and technology and war in the 20th century, from Einstein's demonstration of the interconnectibility of mass and energy to improve understanding of nuclear chain reactions and the development of more potent weapons and more rapid and accurate weapons delivery systems. Advances in science and technology have radically transformed the perennial international political problem of war and peace. While technological innovation has been a major influence on military power for the millennia, in the 20th century, the relationship between science and technology and national war making reached a new stage. The study of the science, technology, and war 20th century, which is the World War II, also proved to show the importance of science and technology. Though science and technology proved to have a good impact on wars during the 20th century regarding the evolvement of resources and weapons, it also created millions of devastation all around the world. The relationship between war and technology. The most important verb describing the impact of technology on warfare is that it changes warfare. Technology has been the primary source of military innovation throughout history. It drives changes in warfare more than any other factor. The role of science and technology in war is help to counter special threats such as terrorism that cannot be met by conventional war-fighting forces, and they are underpin the intelligence capabilities necessary to assess the dangers of our nation faces.
So good day to each and everyone, especially to you, Ma'am. Good day. So today I will discuss to you the continuation of the topic, which is science, technology, and war in the 20th century. So ironically horrific destructive power has made the use of nuclear weapon more unthinkable. Increasingly, reliance on sophisticated scientific and technological means of detecting the onset of the nuclear attack has made the chances of accidental initiation of hostilities seem less remote. So on several occasions, computerized U.S. national defense system have produced a spurious indication that international ballistic missiles attack on the United States had been launched. So to expound or explain this statement, so the most horrible weapons has made is nuclear weapons because it damaged a lot, especially the lives of everybody. But not only that, also the properties and etc. This is the most powerful weapon has made. And if that happen, it's very dangerous for us. And it's very too bad or shocking to be thought of. And we can imagine if there are people who suffered about the nuclear weapon. So on a several time, U.S. national defense system have produced a false idea so that United States had been launched. So resultant maximum alerts of U.S. retaliatory forces we can call only upon the discovery of the sightings were not incoming missiles. Indeed, the speed of nuclear weapons may reach a point in the not-too-distant future where computers will have to be programmed to trigger retaliatory strikes upon detecting attack if the responding missiles are to have a chances to survive.
On August 1945, the bomb dropped in Hiroshima and had explosive power of 12,500 tons of TNT and killed an estimated 60,000 people immediately. Yes, 66,000 people that had been killed for that bomb. However, many contemporary weapons make that bomb and those figures seem small. And it is also believed that the Soviet 18 intercontinental missiles carry over 10 independently targetable warheads, each with a payload of 750 kilotons, that is each possessing 60 times the explosive power of the bomb unleashed in Hiroshima. So for today's video, I'm going to discuss about the growing pressure to internationalize political decision-making. Political decision-making reflects distributional conflicts with the electoral process, perhaps giving the median voter a key role, and special interest groups may lobby for their preferred task policy. The arms race and its control side, international government policy is focused increasingly on issues engendered by the scientific and technological activity. The primary problems of these are, first, the environmental alteration includes various factors such as natural disasters, human interferences, and animal interaction. Second is the population control. Population control is the process of reducing or eliminating the release of pollutants into the environment. It is regulated by various environmental agencies which establish pollutant discharge limits for air, water, and land. The third one is the ocean resources, the outer space, and the food are perceived as being of increasing gravity, their effects often spreading beyond national borders.
So good morning everyone, my name is MERJORY ENGARCIAL. For today's topic is the continuation of the political relations. So in this lesson, we will learn about the uses of technology in military, communications, and transportation fields, and in science, particularly in physics. So international pressure on nations to limit their freedom of action so as to mitigate serious environmental problems has already begun. So for example, in 1987, 42 countries negotiating under the auspices of the United Nations Environmental Program. They signed the Montreal Protocol. This treaty called for having the productions of 5 chlorine-based chemicals that deplete the atmosphere protective ozone layer by 1998. When the damage to the ozone layer exceeded expectations on June 1990, 93 nations signed a second, more stringent treaty phasing out productions and use of these chemicals by 2000. This landmark agreement was reached only after a new fund was created to help poor countries switch to chlorofluorocarbon-free technologies. So today, global warming is now considered as the current serious environmental issues all over the world. Great impacts are now being experienced by many peoples, animals, plants, and other components of environments. So if you guys wondering what is the relationship of the chlorofluorocarbon and to our ozone layer, so chlorofluorocarbon is a chemical na siya chemical. So Hydrochlorofluorocarbon and helium destroy the Earth's protective ozone layer, which is the shield of the Earth from harmful ultraviolet rays generated from the sun. So, kanipong hydrochlorofluorocarbon and helium is also chemicals pud ni sila nga makadaot ni sila sa tuang ozone layer. So, daghan ni sila nga mga chemicals nga makadaot sa tong ozone layers, and they are first, chlorofluorocarbon, helium, carbon tetrachloride, methyl chloroform, hydrobromochloropluorocarbon, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, methyl bromide, and lastly, the bromochloromethane. So, mo ni sila ang makadaot sa tong ozone layers. So, mo ni sila ang dapat iwasan.